Euro 2024 is just a few weeks away, so I thought it would be a good idea to predict this tournament. In this video, I'm going to be going through my knockout stage predictions to decide which team is going to win the tournament. I've already made some predictions for the group stage, and you can watch that video with the link in the comments. I am going to tell you those group stage predictions anyway though, because they are relevant to my knockout bracket. For Group A, I had Germany first, Hungary second, Switzerland third, and Scotland fourth. For Group B, it was Spain first, Italy second, Croatia third, and Albania fourth. For Group C, I predicted England first, Denmark second, Serbia third, and Slovenia fourth. For Group D, I predicted France first, Netherlands second, Austria third, and Poland fourth. For Group E, I predicted Belgium first, Ukraine second, Romania third, and Slovakia fourth. And for Group F, I went for Portugal first, Turkey second, Czechia third, and Georgia fourth. If you want more details as to why I made those predictions, then you can watch my previous video with the link in the comments. But now it's time to decide which of the third place teams I think will go through. This is very difficult to judge, but I'm going to base it off of which teams I think are going to beat the teams in fourth, and which teams I think are going to be able to get most points off of the teams in first and second. So taking that all into account, I think that Croatia, Czech Republic, Austria, and Switzerland are the most likely teams to reach the last 16. Croatia are definitely a good enough team to challenge Spain and Italy. I predicted them third, but Group B is going to be very close. I think Czechia will beat Georgia, and they'll definitely be a challenge for Turkey. Austria are looking like a great team at the moment, and they can definitely get some points in Group D. And Switzerland are a quality side who can pick up points against Hungary and Scotland. Unfortunately for Romania and Serbia, I think there's a good chance that they end up drawing with the team in fourth. I think Slovakia and Slovenia will be a challenge for them. So that leaves us with some very interesting last 16 matchups. And the first one is Germany versus Denmark. I think Germany might do well at this tournament because they were really good in those recent international friendlies, and they have a very good squad. They're also on home soil against a Denmark team that's been struggling recently. Even if Denmark improve their form during the Euros, I still don't think they're going to be able to beat Germany. So I think Germany are going to win this match. Also, I thought now was a good time to add that this knockout bracket is probably not even going to happen because my group stage predictions are not going to be 100% correct. But that doesn't matter, this is just a bit of fun. Anyway, the next matchup is Hungary versus Italy. Hungary are a decent team, and they have a habit of beating big teams that they aren't expected to. I think this game will be a lot closer than a lot of people think. But having said that, I do still think that Italy are going to win. They have a better squad, and they should be the favourites for this match. Next up, Spain versus Austria. Like I said earlier, Austria are on good form, and they've been on good form for a while now, but one of their key players, David Alaba, is not going to be playing. I also think this game is similar to the last one in that one team is on good form, but the other team simply has a higher quality squad. Spain have got players like Rodri, Pedri, Morata, and many other world-class talents, so I'm going to predict that they beat Austria. Now, the next match in this knockout bracket is England versus Czech Republic. I think England will win this match because they have a better squad and better form than Czechia. The Czechs are a decent team, but I think they'll struggle against this level of opposition, so I'm going to have to predict that England win this match. But the next one is the biggest match of the last 16, Portugal versus Croatia. Both of them are big European teams that have done well in recent tournaments. Croatia have picked up back-to-back World Cup medals, and Portugal won the tournament in 2016. They also won all 10 of their qualifying games for this Euro, and they have a really good squad with players like Ronaldo, Dias, Fernandes, and Bernardo Silva. It is going to be very close, but I'm going to have to say that Portugal win this match. It's a shame for Croatia, they've had a tough draw. Whichever team finishes third in Group B is going to have a tricky game in the last 16. Of course, Croatia can still win this game. We've seen them defeat Brazil and Argentina when they weren't expected to in past tournaments. This will definitely be close, and I think it will be the closest game in this whole last 16, but I think Portugal will be able to scrape through. Now, moving on to the next game, Netherlands versus Ukraine. I think Netherlands have got a great chance this year. They've got an amazing squad, and I think they will be able to beat Ukraine. Their defence in particular is one of the best in the tournament, and while some people have criticised the manager Koeman, I don't think he's as bad as everyone seems to think he is. He was good at Southampton, and I think his team will be able to get past Ukraine without too much difficulty. Ukraine are good, and they can challenge the big boys, but I'm going to have to predict that Netherlands win this one. The next game is Belgium versus Switzerland. Belgium look like the favourites with a better squad and probably a better record at major tournaments, but I do think that Switzerland can put up a decent fight here. Belgium are definitely weaker than they have been in the past, but despite their poor performances in the World Cup in 2022, I still think Belgium are going to win this game. Switzerland have not been very impressive since their 6-1 loss to Portugal in the World Cup last 16, Netherlands, and I think Belgium did better in qualifying and have better players. And my final last 16 matchup is France versus Turkey. Turkey looked like a good team going into this Euro, but I don't think they'll be able to beat France. The French squad is just incredible, and I'm gonna have to predict that they beat Turkey. And this was the final last 16 matchup, so now let's take a look at the quarterfinals. We've got Germany versus Spain, Portugal versus Netherlands, Belgium versus France, and England versus Italy. These are going to be very difficult to predict. The first quarterfinal is Germany versus Spain, and I am really struggling to decide who wins here. Germany, of course, are the host nation, and they've got some really good players as well. Their performances recently have been really good, and I think they definitely can go really far. But Spain is easily their toughest opponent so far. I would say their starting lineup isn't quite as strong as Germany's, but they do have some amazing players like Rodri, who's probably the best player in the world right now. Spain also come into this tournament after topping their qualifying group and winning the Nations League, and they finished above Germany in the World Cup 2022 group stages. But with that being said, Germany do still have a better squad and they're on great form. I think they are going to win this game. It will be close, but I'm predicting Germany to go through. And now let's move on to Portugal versus Netherlands, which I think is the hardest quarterfinal to predict. Both teams have amazing squads, but only one can make it to the semi-finals. Here's how I see it. The Dutch have a way better defense, but Portugal have a way better attack. Their midfields are kind of equal. A lot of people would say that Portugal are under better management, with Martinez being better than Koeman, but in knockout football, anything can happen. And just looking at the players on each of these teams, I actually think that the Netherlands are looking slightly better. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Portugal are on fantastic form. I would definitely not be surprised if they win this game, but I'm going to have to predict Netherlands to go through. The next quarter-final is Belgium versus France, and I think France are going to win this game. As I said earlier, the French team is incredible, and their team is looking a lot better than Belgium. I also think that Belgium have had a very easy draw up until now, and when up against a big team like France, I think they will crumble. So I predict France to beat Belgium. And now let's move on to the last quarter-final, England versus Italy. This would be a rematch of the Euro 2021 final, where Italy beat England on penalties. This time though, I think it will be very different. England beat Italy twice in qualifying, and I don't think much has changed since. The Three Lions have a better squad as well, and I do expect them to win this match. I think Italy are a good team, but I don't expect them to get further than the quarterfinals. So I'm going to have to predict that England win this match. And now let's move on to the semi-finals. Germany versus Netherlands and France versus England. This is where it gets almost impossible to predict. Let's start off with Germany versus the Netherlands. These two have been rivals for a long time now, and this is going to be a very exciting match. Both teams are going to come into this tournament with amazing squads, and according to my predictions, both teams are going to perform. But I think the home team, Germany, is slightly better. They beat the Dutch 2-0 earlier this year, and they're only going to be better in a major tournament that they're playing at home. I think the German crowd is going to help their team to put the last few tournaments behind them by beating the Netherlands and reaching the Euro final. But which of the other two teams will join them there? England or France? This game is going to be very close. I would say these two teams have the two best squads in the tournament by far. England have got Kane, Foden, Saka, Bellingham, Palmer and many other great players, while France have got Mbappe, Griezmann, Upamecano, Saliba, Koundé, Thuram and so many other world-class players. I would say these two teams are equally great in most areas. Both of them have amazing players and both of them had good qualifying campaigns. The only thing I can really base my prediction off of is the last match between these two teams. France beat England 2-1 at the World Cup in 2022. However, I would say that England were actually the better team. Just take a look at the stats. England had 57% possession, 16 shots compared to France's 8, and 8 shots on target compared to France's 5. The only reason France won is because they finished off their chances. But then looking at all the attacking talent that England have, you wouldn't expect scoring goals to be a problem for them. Also, this game would have gone very differently if, say, Kane had scored the penalty or Tchouaméni's first goal had been disallowed for a foul on Saka in the build-up. What I'm trying to say here is that game between France and England was very close. The French are not the incredible, undefeatable team that everyone seems to think they are. I think England actually played better in that game, and I think they'll play better at the Euros as well. This is a very close call, but I'm going to predict that England go through to the final. So that leaves us with an epic final, Germany versus England. Which team is going to win? Germany will be up against the team that knocked them out in the last 16 of the previous Euros. They've got an exciting young squad and a massive home crowd behind them. But then England have got so many amazing young players. They're looking for their first trophy since 1966. And they're up against their old rivals, the team that always used to knock them out. As Gary Lineker once said, football is a simple game. 22 men chase the ball for 90 minutes, and at the end, the Germans win. But not this time. I predict that England are going to win the Euros. It's coming home. I can't wait to see all the comments calling me a delusional England fan. I've given my reasoning. We have an amazing team, and just because we've not won trophies in the past doesn't mean we can't win them that. We got so close in 2020, we got so close in 2022, and I think we'll do it this time. This is the best England team of the 21st century. People always complain that England are among the favourites every year, but they never win anything. This year though, it is different. We have an amazing squad. We're the only team to reach the quarterfinals of the last 3 tournaments, and I genuinely think that we have a better chance of winning this year than any other team. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments which team you think's going to win the Euros, and maybe consider subscribing because we're almost at 500 subscribers. You can also click the videos that are on the screen right now if you want to watch more. And anyway, with that all being said, thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Oh, and if England don't win the Euros in 2024, then they'll win it in 2028. That's literally being hosted in the UK, so there's no reason for England not to win that.